desperation mode. These players are guys that are going to go late, and maybe you know just needed somebody that a dart throw. Basically, that's what these are. These are dart throws, and for that reason, we're not sure about them. So, Joe, you want to kick us off on dart throws?
Yeah, so my dart throw is Paris Campbell. You got to be really desperate here, but he's absolutely free. I think he's like 224 overall right now in ADP. The storyline of the Colts camp this year has been Matt Ryan and Paris Campbell's connection. Apparently, they hang out a lot, and on the field, it is showing. Now, we talked about the Breakfast Club with Stafford and Cup. This is more like 24-hour diner at 3 a.m. There's a cigarette in your pancakes breakfast club. That's where it's at.
It's
But
still breakfast, though.
It's still breakfast. But Campbell's career, it hasn't been good. He's been injured, but the Colts seem dead set on making him a playmaker on this team. Should be the slot receiver and then bump outside in 2 wide receiver sets. Alec Pierce could definitely cut into those targets over time. But Campbell is the ultimate lottery ticket. At the end of your drafts, he could have a pretty solid role for you.
He's never really had a full season either. So it's not like there's a huge sample size here. Like if you look at his stats right now on the screen, you're not like, oh, wow, that's ridiculous. He's great. But this is just comes down to what if Alec Pierce isn't ready? What if Kiki Kudier hasn't recovered from his injuries? I mean, there's not a whole lot of depth here. I mean, I like the idea of another receiver being able to climb up that board, and maybe Paris Campbell's that guy.
If there's anyone to make it happen, Matt Ryan can do it.
Yeah, I think this could potentially be finally the breakout year for Paris Campbell, but we'll see. I'm excited to at least see what the Colts have to offer with Jonathan Taylor and Matt Ryan at the helm. So I can't wait to see what that's going to look like. All right, so on to mine is Wandel Robinson from the Giants. So Kadarius Toney has obviously been flashing at camp, but Wandel Robinson, in my opinion, is doing just as well at camp. He's going to play in the preseason game this week, so I'm going to be kind of honed in a little bit on him to see exactly how they use him. With him only being 5'8", you're going to have to try to figure out a gadget way of using him. But I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see how they use him. And if they find him a role in that first offense in the first team, I think he could end up being a steal by the end of the season. Dable comes from the Buffalo Bills. They like to get different, looks and packages and stuff. So we'll see behind Daniel Jones exactly what that looks like. But Wandel Robinson being in the slot, I think could mean a lot of good things for him.
They have said that they've pretty much already booked the slot as well, too. So,
which is weird. I thought Sterling Shepard would at least have one more year. I thought they'd give him one more chance, but nope.
I think he's right now, isn't he?
He is. Duh. I mean, Sterling Shepard never starts a season healthy. I mean, he has to just get healthy by like week 5. Like that's the Sterling Shepard.
No, it's funny.
I feel bad. He's gotten a ton of injuries, and it's really like heartbreaking for a guy. But still, okay.
He's not a fraud.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's crazy though, because last year we were really pumping up Rondale Moore, and he profiles very similarly to Rondale Moore, but actually has a role in the offense.
Right.
Getting out of camp, so I like him.
All right, well, getting into my guy, I'm not really good at homework assignments, so I took this as a different kind of desperation. So my desperation is Alan Lazard, and I pretty much ranted about him a couple times now. I think a couple podcasts. It's right. I mean, you're still desperate. It's still the same concept. I'm just going to take it a different direction. I want to just tell you one more time about Lazard. He might just not be that great. Everyone has him as Rodgers' number 1 guy, and he's going to have such a great year this year, and yada, yada, yada. But I don't think there is one great guy on the team this year. Rodgers is probably not going to have a 1,500 yards receiver this year. If you listened last week, you know that I already have a feeling that the running backs are going to be heavily involved in that pass game. And I kind of still have the feeling they're going to sign a veteran wide receiver in the coming weeks or in the middle of the season when they realize Lazard's just not that great. 500 yards a few times now, 8 touchdowns last year. I guess that's what everybody's clinging on right now. And I understand Devontae Adams was there all those 3 years, but I just don't see it personally. I don't know. You're desperate if you're drafting him right now.
I mean, the opportunity's there. He's had some games where he's looked really good. He had the core injury last year that kept him out for a long time. I'm not saying Alan Lazard is good by any means, but being the de facto number 1 receiver in an Aaron Rodgers offense is pretty awesome. And if you're getting him in the 10th round, I mean, I'd take him there.
So the way I would frame your answer is that like he is your dart throw if you did not get a receiver earlier. Like say you went like tight end, running back, and then you got your quarterback and you haven't gotten a wide receiver yet, and then Alan Lazard ends up being the guy that you get as your one receiver. Which would be your desperation play there. I agree. He could really be good this year, or better chance he's just not, and it ends up being like Romeo Dubs or the running backs, which is what we all think, or Tunyon, somebody else.
Yeah. So my problem is he's going a few picks before London, Hopkins, Christian Kirksey dead, Traylon Burks, just getting into some Renfro, Robert Woods, Tony. There's just so many receivers that I would take over him right now that I'm not excited about Lazard. I'm sorry. I won't be.
We're kind of in agreement. Just let someone else draft him, right?
That's my problem. That was my feeling of desperation.
I don't want him to be my wide receiver too. Now, if he's a flex, like if he ends up being a flex player for me, maybe I'll be okay taking him at that spot. Okay, well, but he could be the one for the Packers. Could be
for how much he's getting hyped right now, though. He's going to be. I mean, his
he'll be long gone before I
feel comfortable. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be 7th round.
He'll be long gone before I'm comfortable.
I got a lot of guys in this 80 to 120 range that I am way more excited about. Like I'd take my last draft pick right now over Alan Lazard.